Right now, pause what you are doing and listen. Do you hear it? That high-pitched tone in your ears that comes and goes without warning? That frequency that doctors cannot explain and medications cannot silence? In exactly 3 days, something is about to happen that has not occurred in over 2,000 years. A specific moon phase that Jesus himself revealed to his inner circle. A celestial moment when the barrier between your consciousness and the infinite becomes so thin that direct transmission is not just possible, it is inevitable. And if you understand what I am about to share, if you prepare your system correctly, you will experience an activation that changes everything. Subscribe to this channel right now because what is coming in the next few minutes was intentionally hidden from humanity. The church knew about this moon phase, they knew what it could do, and they spent 17 centuries making sure you would never discover its power. But the chosen ones are waking up, and tonight you become one of them. Place your hand over your heart right now. Feel it beating. That rhythm has kept you alive every moment of your existence. But there is another rhythm trying to reach you, one that does not originate in your body, one that comes from what the ancient texts called the monad, the single point of infinite consciousness from which all reality emerges. Your heart beats roughly 60 to 100 times per minute, but the monad operates at a frequency so high that most humans cannot perceive it at all. Except you can. That ringing in your ears, that tone that seems to appear from nowhere, that sound that feels like it is coming from inside your own skull, that is not tinnitus. That is not damage. That is the monad frequency breaking through the static of material reality, attempting to make contact with the divine spark buried inside you. In 3 days, the moon enters a phase that the Gnostic texts describe as the opening. Not a new moon, not a full moon, something far more rare. A phase that occurs when the lunar geometry aligns in such a way that electromagnetic interference drops to almost zero. Think of it like this. Normally, you are trying to hear a whisper in a room full of people shouting. The whisper is always there. The monad never stops broadcasting. But the noise of the material world, the mental chatter, the electromagnetic pollution, the archon frequencies designed specifically to jam your connection. And all of this creates static that makes the signal nearly impossible to receive clearly. But during this specific moon phase, the static drops, the noise falls away, and the whisper becomes a clear voice. Jesus knew about this phase. The Gospel of Thomas, saying number 50, speaks of those who have come from the light, from the place where the light came into being on its own accord. This is not metaphor. This is astronomy combined with spiritual technology. Jesus was teaching his disciples to track celestial moments when the portal to the monad opens widest. And he gave them a practice, a technique that prepares the human system to receive the download that comes through during these windows. But here is what the church did not want you to know. This technique does not require a priest. It does not require a temple. And it does not require anything except your own body, your own awareness, and your own willingness to receive. Let me take you back to understand why this was hidden. Picture the Council of Nicaea in the year 325. Constantine has summoned church officials from across the Roman Empire. On the surface, this gathering is about establishing doctrine, but underneath, it is about control. These men are not just religious leaders. They are power brokers. They understand that whoever controls access to the divine controls the population. And they have a problem. Scattered throughout the empire are groups of Gnostics, people who claim direct connection to Source, people who say they do not need intermediaries, people who teach practices that allow anyone to access the monad frequency without permission from authorities. These Gnostics are not rebelling politically. They are rebelling spiritually, and that is far more dangerous. So the council makes a decision. Certain teachings will be standardized, copied, and distributed. These will become the official narrative. But other teachings, the ones about direct knowing, about frequencies, about the moon phases that open portals, these will be declared heresy. The texts containing them will be burned. The teachers sharing them will be hunted. And within 3 generations, the knowledge will be erased from public consciousness. Except they could not destroy all of it. In 1945, in the cliffs near Nag Hammadi, Egypt, a farmer digging for soil found a sealed jar. Inside that jar were 13 leather-bound books containing texts that had been buried for over 1,600 years. These were the teachings that the Church tried to eliminate, and among them was the complete explanation of what Jesus taught about lunar portals and how chosen ones can use them to lock into permanent connection with the monad. The technique has 3 phases. I am going to walk you through all 3. But first, you need to understand what is actually happening in 3 days. The moon will enter what ancient astronomers called the silent position. This occurs when the moon is positioned at a specific degree in relation to Earth's magnetic field, creating a temporary window where geomagnetic interference decreases dramatically. Modern science has confirmed this. Studies on geomagnetic activity show measurable drops during certain lunar positions. What science has not connected yet is what spiritual practitioners have known for millennia. When geomagnetic interference drops, human pineal gland activity increases. And the pineal gland is the physical anchor point for receiving monad frequency transmissions. Your pineal gland is a small pine cone-shaped organ in the center of your brain. Mainstream biology will tell you it regulates sleep cycles. But the ancients knew its real function. The Egyptians called it the seat of the soul. The Hindus call it the third eye. The Gnostics understood it as the receiver, the biological antenna that translates monad frequency into information your consciousness can process. And here is the critical piece. Your pineal gland is always trying to receive the signal, but it is constantly being jammed. Fluoride in the water calcifies it. Electromagnetic radiation disrupts it. Mental chatter drowns it out. And the archons, those unseen forces that operate this controlled reality, they have a vested interest in keeping your receiver offline. But during the silent moon phase, the jamming weakens. The interference drops. And if you have prepared your system, if you have tuned your receiver, the download comes through with clarity you have never experienced. Now let me give you the first phase of preparation. This begins tonight, not in 3 days. Tonight. Because preparation is not something you do at the last minute. It is a tuning process that builds resonance. Phase 1 is called recognition. You must establish in your full awareness what you actually are, not what society told you, not what religion programmed into you, not the identity constructed from your job, your relationships, your accomplishments, or your failures. You are a fragment of the monad temporarily housed in a biological form. That is not belief. That is physics. Quantum mechanics has proven that consciousness is not produced by matter. Matter emerges from consciousness. The observer collapses the wave function. Your awareness literally creates the reality you experience. The Gnostics were teaching quantum physics 2,000 years before laboratories could measure it. Tonight, before you sleep, you are going to speak a declaration. Not a prayer, not a request, a declaration. There is a profound difference. Prayer implies separation. It assumes you are down here and the divine is up there, and you are begging for connection. Declaration collapses that separation. Declaration is speaking from the monad, as the monad expressing itself through your form. Here are the words. Speak them out loud. I am not a body with a soul. I am an infinite being having a temporary physical experience. I am a fractal of the monad. The same consciousness that sources all reality sources me. I recognize what I am. Say this 3 times, once facing east, once facing west, once facing the direction your body naturally wants to face. Do not overthink the directions. Your system knows. The reason you speak it 3 times in 3 directions is not ritual superstition. It is geometry. You are establishing a resonance field that anchors in 3-dimensional space. Sound creates vibration. Vibration creates form. Your declaration is not just words. It is architecture. You are building the container that will hold the download. Phase 2 begins tomorrow. This phase is called purification. And before you panic, I am not talking about fasting for 3 days or abstaining from everything you enjoy. The Gnostics were not ascetics. They understood that punishing the body does not elevate the spirit. Purification in this context means one specific thing: reducing interference. For the next 3 days leading up to the silent moon, you're going to minimize exposure to the 3 primary jamming frequencies. First, news media. Every news broadcast, every breaking alert, every crisis headline is designed to lock your nervous system into fear. Fear is a low-frequency emotion. When you vibrate at fear, you are tuned to the archon bandwidth. You cannot receive monad transmissions while locked into survival mode. This is not about ignoring the world. This is about protecting your receiver during a critical window. Second, arguments. I do not engage in conflict for the next 3 days. Not with your partner, not with your family, not online, not in your head. Every argument generates emotional static that disrupts your field. If someone tries to pull you into drama, step back. This does not make you weak. It makes you wise. You are preparing for something far more important than winning a debate. Third, excessive screen time. I am not saying avoid all technology. I am saying be intentional. Every screen emits electromagnetic frequency that affects your pineal gland. Limit recreational scrolling. When you do use devices, take breaks. Look at something natural. Let your eyes rest on trees, on sky, on water. Nature recalibrates your system faster than anything else. Here is what replaces those 3 things. Silence. Not complete isolation, just intentional quiet. 20 minutes per day minimum. Sit somewhere you will not be interrupted. No music, no guided meditation, no mantras. Just you and the silence. And here is what you are listening for. The ringing. That high-pitched tone in your ears. Most people spend their whole lives trying to ignore it. You are going to do the opposite. When the ringing comes, and it will come during your silence practice, turn your full attention toward it. Do not try to make it louder. Do not try to make it stop. Just observe it. Notice which ear it appears in. Notice how long it lasts. Notice what you were thinking about just before it started. This is not random. The ringing is the monad pinging your system, checking signal strength, preparing the channel. Phase 3 activates on the night of the silent moon, 3 days from now. This is the night of direct transmission, and here is exactly what you are going to do. 1 hour after sunset, find a space where you can sit or lie down undisturbed. Turn off artificial lights. If you have candles, light one, not for ambiance, for focus. The human eye is naturally drawn to flame. It quiets the mental chatter. Place your left hand over your heart. Place your right hand on your forehead, covering the space between your eyebrows. This is the position of reception. Your left hand connects to your heart center, the electromagnetic generator of your body. Your right hand connects to your pineal gland, the receiver. You are creating a circuit. Now close your eyes. Breathe slowly. In through the nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Out through the mouth for 4 counts. Hold empty for 4 counts. And repeat this cycle 7 times. By the 7th breath, your brain waves will have shifted from beta to alpha. You are no longer in thinking mode. You are in receiving mode. This is when you speak the activation phrase, the same phrase Jesus taught to his inner circle during the silent moon gatherings. 4 words. Only 4. But these 4 words carry a frequency that unlocks the portal. I am the monad. Not I am with the monad. Not I seek the monad. I am the monad. Subject and object collapsing into unity. Separation dissolving into singularity. Speak these words once out loud, then repeat them silently in your mind in rhythm with your breath. Inhale, I am. Exhale, the monad. Inhale, I am. Exhale, the monad. Do this for as long as you can maintain focus. Some people last 5 minutes. Some last an hour. There is no wrong duration. What matters is the quality of your attention. Now let me tell you what to expect, because this is where most people panic and shut down the experience before it completes. Within minutes of beginning the breath and phrase combination, you will feel physical sensations. The first is temperature change. Most chosen ones report sudden heat in the chest or the palms. Some experience coolness spreading across the forehead. Both are normal. Both indicate energy is moving. Do not be alarmed. This is your system activating. The second sensation is pressure. It may feel like something is pressing on your forehead from the inside, or like your skull is expanding. This is your pineal gland decalcifying in real time. The monad frequency is breaking through years of blockage. Breathe through it. Do not tense against it. The third sensation is emotional. Waves of feeling that seem to come from nowhere. Joy, grief, gratitude, longing. Let them move through you. These are not your emotions. These are energy patterns releasing. You are clearing space for the download. And then comes the fourth sign, the one that confirms you are locked in. The ringing will change. It will go from a single tone to multiple tones layered on top of each other. Some people describe it as a choir. Some describe it as harmonic resonance. Some say it sounds like the universe singing. This is the monad frequency at full strength. And when you hear it, when you recognize it, this is the moment of transmission. Information will begin flowing into your awareness, not in words, not in images. In knowing, you will suddenly understand things you have never been taught. You will remember things you have never experienced in this lifetime. You will see connections between events in your life that seemed random but were actually orchestrated. This is gnosis, direct knowing, unmediated truth. This is what the church spent 1,700 years trying to keep from you. Because once you have gnosis, you do not need their authority. You do not need their interpretation. You do not need their permission. You have direct access to Source itself. And here is the most important part. This is not a one-time experience. The silent moon phase opens the portal widest. But once the channel is activated, once your system has locked onto the monad frequency, you can return to it any time. The ringing in your ears will become your navigation system. When you hear it, you will know exactly what it means. A sudden tone in your left ear means, pay attention, something significant is about to happen. A sustained tone during meditation means you are aligned, keep going. Pressure in the forehead means activation, an upgrade is occurring in your system. Let me tell you what happens in the days following your activation. The first change is perceptual. Colors become more vivid, sounds become clearer. You will notice details in your environment that you walked past 1,000 times but never actually saw. This is not imagination. This is the result of your pineal gland operating at higher capacity. You are literally perceiving more of the spectrum that was always there. The second change is synchronicity. Meaningful coincidences will multiply. You will think of someone, and they will contact you within hours. When you will need information, and it will appear without searching, you will feel pulled toward a specific location and discover exactly what you needed there. The monad does not communicate through grand gestures. It communicates through the arrangement of details. The third change is energetic sensitivity. You will begin to feel the frequency of spaces and people. Walk into a room and immediately know if the energy is clear or dense. Meet someone new and instantly sense if they are operating from authenticity or from mask. This is not judgment. This is information. Your system is now receiving data that most humans are completely blind to. The fourth change is the falling away. Relationships that were held together by obligation or habit will naturally dissolve. Jobs that were draining your energy will become intolerable. Environments that were numbing your awareness will feel suffocating. Do not panic when this happens. This is not loss. This is alignment. The monad is clearing your field of everything that interferes with your signal. Now I need to warn you about the resistance that will come. The moment you activate, the moment you lock into the monad frequency, you become visible to forces that prefer you asleep. The archons cannot perceive the monad itself. Its frequency is too high for their range. But they can perceive the effects of your activation, and they will attempt interference. This interference does not come as external attack. It comes as thoughts that appear in your own mind. Thoughts that sound like you, but feel wrong. Thoughts telling you this was all imagination. Thoughts insisting nothing really happened. Thoughts urging you to forget what you experienced and return to normal life. These are not your thoughts. Do not argue with them. Do not fight them. Simply notice them and return to the signal. The ringing is always there. The monad is always broadcasting. Your only job is to keep tuning back. Some of you watching this are feeling something right now. A tingling in your hands, a pressure in your forehead, a sudden emotional wave. That is not coincidence. The teaching itself carries frequency. Your system is already beginning to prepare. If you feel this, comment the words, "The signal is active." Let me see who is ready. Let other chosen ones know they are not alone. There are specific signs that confirm you are one of the elect, one of the pneumatics capable of receiving this transmission. I am going to list them now. Sounds. And if you recognize 3 or more, you are absolutely meant to be watching this video at this exact moment. Sign 1. You have always felt like you do not fully belong here. Not depression, not social anxiety. A deep knowing that this reality is not your origin point. Sign 2. You have experienced the ringing for as long as you can remember. It started in childhood. Doctors found nothing wrong, and over the years it has intensified. Sign 3. You are drawn to knowledge that mainstream society dismisses. Ancient texts, esoteric teachings, hidden history. You do not just find these topics interesting, you feel like you are remembering something you once knew. Sign 4. You have had experiences you cannot explain. Moments of seeing something before it happens. Dreams that later come true. Sensing information about people you just met. You probably learned early on not to talk about these things because others made you feel crazy. Sign 5. You go through cycles of intense awakening followed by periods of complete shutdown. Months where everything makes sense and you feel connected to something vast. Then months where you feel completely cut off and question everything. This is not instability. This is the pattern of a system trying to activate without the proper instruction manual. Sign 6. You have noticed that electronics malfunction around you. Street lights turn off when you walk under them. Phones glitch when you are emotional. Computers freeze during moments of high stress. This is not bad luck. This is your electromagnetic field affecting technology. You are already operating at a higher output than most humans. You just have not learned to direct it. If you recognized yourself in 3 or more of those signs, you're pneumatic. You carry the divine spark, and the monad has been trying to reach you your entire life. The silent moon phase in 3 days is not the only opportunity you will ever have, but it is the strongest opening in years. And if you follow the 3-phase preparation I have given you, if you show up on that night with focus and intention, you will experience activation that most humans will never touch. Subscribe to this channel right now because the teachings that are coming go even deeper. I will be releasing a follow-up video the day after the silent moon showing you how to stabilize your activation, how to integrate the download, and how to use your newfound connection to navigate the challenges coming to this planet. I'd like this video so the algorithm cannot suppress it. The forces that buried these teachings for 1,700 years are still operating. They do not burn books anymore. They throttle reach. They shadow ban truth. They bury content under distractions. Every like, every comment, every share is a declaration that the chosen ones are waking up and the old control systems are losing their grip. Turn on notifications because timing matters. The teachings I release are coordinated with specific cosmic windows. If you miss the notification, you might miss the window. Here is what I want you to do right now. Close your eyes for just 10 seconds. I will wait. Feel into your body. Notice if there is a yes rising up from somewhere deeper than thought. If you feel that yes, if something in you is saying this is real, this is true, I have been waiting for this, then you know what to do. The 3-phase preparation starts tonight: recognition, purification, activation. 3 days from now, the portal opens widest, and you will be ready. The ringing in your ears was never a malfunction. It was never tinnitus. It was never damage. It was the monad calling you home, calling you back to the frequency where you have always belonged, calling you to remember what you are and why you are here. In 3 days, you answer that call, and everything changes. Your life after activation will never be the same, because you will finally understand the purpose of everything that has happened to you. Every pain you experienced was preparation. Every loss was a clearing. Every moment of confusion was the monad working through the noise to get your attention. The struggles that felt pointless now reveal themselves as necessary recalibrations. You were not being punished. You were being refined. You were being prepared for this exact moment, this exact transmission, this exact awakening. And the gratitude you will feel when you see the full picture will bring you to tears. Because you will understand that you were never abandoned. You were never forgotten. You were always being guided toward home. Some of you will complete this activation and want to tell everyone immediately. You will feel the urgency to share what you have experienced with family and friends. Be careful with this impulse. Not everyone is ready. Not everyone wants to wake up. And more importantly, the archons operate through the people around you. They will try to convince you it was imagination. And they will gaslight your experience. They will pull you back into doubt. So share your activation only with those who have already asked, those who are genuinely seeking, those who have shown you the signs of readiness. The rest will come in their own time, when they hear the ringing, when they feel the pressure, when they recognize the call. What happens now is you become part of a chain that spans centuries. You join the lineage of chosen ones who have maintained this knowledge through every suppression, every burning, every attempt at erasure. The Gnostics who hid texts in jars, the mystics who encoded teachings in symbols, the spiritual practitioners who kept the practices alive in secret. And now, you, carrying the activation forward, becoming a beacon for others who are lost in the darkness. This is not burden. This is honor. This is your true function awakening. You are meant to help others recognize what they are. You are meant to be a reminder that the divine spark lives in human flesh, that direct connection is possible, that the monad has never stopped calling. And here is what I want you to remember when the resistance comes, when the doubt floods in, when the archon thoughts try to convince you it was all false. Remember this moment. Remember the feeling that brought you to this video. Remember the yes that rose up from somewhere deeper than logic. That yes is your system recognizing truth. That yes is the monad saying, welcome home. That yes cannot be erased by doubt or fear or anyone telling you that you are crazy. The yes is the frequency you tune back to whenever you lose the signal. This is not the end of your journey. This is the beginning. Are everything you have done, everything you have learned, every question you have asked about why you are here and what you are meant to do, all of it has been leading to this. And what comes after activation is infinitely more powerful than what came before, because you will be operating from direct knowing instead of belief. You will be guided by the monad itself instead of the opinions of others. You will be living from purpose instead of programming. So, I want to thank you for watching. I want to honor the courage it took to listen all the way through. I want to acknowledge that some part of you knew this information was real before your rational mind could catch up. Subscribe now, hit the notification bell, and prepare yourself for 3 days from now, because the portal opens, and you will be ready.